Hey guys, I'm just getting set up here. We're going to be sculpting the Proliferator today, continuing from our last sculpting stream, where we started on a base sculpt and getting the silhouette sort of in order in a place that we kind of liked. But we're going to tweak it, and then we'll do UVs, and we'll move on to the high-res painting. The music. Sure, my reference is up. You guys can see it in stream. I'll get us some music going. Welcome to the stream, guys. Get my reference up. A reference will load in the background so I can just look at it every once in a while. Hey Cobbs, how's it going, man? I opened up I don't know if you guys like it, but I sort of opened up the screen here so you see less of sort of the tools that I select, you see less of the interface, but you see more of what I'm sculpting, which I think probably makes more sense than before. I also came in here and I separated out all of our subgroups again so we can UV them separately. So like, for example, these teeth here, we'll go back in and we'll auto group them. And I can just start UVing right now, real easy. We'll then go into our Z plugin and UV master. We'll do it by polygroups, work on clone. And then it makes a clone of our teeth. And we want symmetry. We'll just go ahead and unwrap. Unwrap all those. Hope you guys have some coffee. Or your drink of choice. Maybe Yorkshire tea. Yorkshire tea. Excited for our mod? Yeah, man. Me too. So if I go back in here and flatten, you can see these are all the teeth UVs now. Which is good. Looks okay. They're all separated out. Now, if we wanted to, we could separate them out as each tooth could have a separate UV, or, you know, you could do it however you want. but this should be good for our purposes. I'm trying to think what, you know, the teeth don't have to be that high res. We're not going to put too much detail on them. So, I mean, I could do like a 4K map, and that should be plenty detailed for the teeth. So I'll just go back out of that, unflatten, and then copy these UVs. We have to come back here to our original project, and then just paste them. And now the teeth here have UVs. Great. And we want to Z-remesh this tongue before we UV it. We probably don't actually want to UV it yet, we just want to Z-remesh it. Is the music at a good level for you? See, now the topology is a bit better. Let's turn off perspective for a second. Looks like it's not. Let's mirror and weld. Yeah, see, it wasn't symmetrical. This out here. Just inflate this out a little bit. And I actually want to switch over just to our basic material, probably this one for a bit more specularity. I like it a lot. Although I'll switch between, normally I switch between basic material 2, basic material 1. Move my lights around. Okay. See what we're working with. You can see our main body is up at 800,000. Again, I'm going to go back to geometry, actually polygroups first. We'll auto group it, and that'll separate out these little spikes on back here. See how I want to separate this out. turn on symmetry, start masking out these horns. We'll get more precision later. So then just Control W, and that's a new polygroup. Mask this one out. Anytime you have projections like this, it's a good idea to have, and they're large, you probably want a separate unwrap for them. So separate polygroup, separate UV island. Start separate. And just want to do a general one for lower jaw. Get the the mandible, or what might be the mandible in there. Another way you can do this is with your... You could slice it if you wanted to. You could also do like a select lasso. Lasso out what you want. And then you could just simply clear your mask and make a new polygroup there. And then, so what you would then do, you gotta switch back to your select rectangle, invert the selection so that polygroup is gone. And then we need to select out the head, like the top of the head. So first we wanna also hide the horn. One way to do it. It's hard to make a call for where the head should unwrap. This looks kind of good right here, maybe. It's so wormy that I feel like it's up to the artist, really. There's not a clear definition of where that should be. So I'll separate that out, and then probably want horns to be separate too. And this will make sense once we start to Z-remesh it. Oops. Missed a piece here, so you Control-Alt to clear the mask. W. Another way to do this is we can mask all of these off here. Press Control W to make them one polygroup, and then go and auto group them. And because they're not contiguous, because they don't have polygons that touch, they'll automatically group into separate polygroups. And I'll show you that in just a second. Right, so we have those. Oops, I missed a piece. See if that got it. Right, that's pretty close. So then we'll clear out the green part, and then we have the horns here. Do an auto group. Now they're all separate. Invert. And up here on this horn, we did miss a piece too. So the way you can do that, get rid of that. And here, oh man, let's select our green, and we'll make sure our display properties are on and double is on so we can see both sides. And again, I'll go over here to polygroups, auto group, and all the little tiny things will be separate. So I'll hide both of those, invert it, make it the same. See, we got these little tiny pieces here. We'll just hide it with the main piece. Get one piece. That's how you kind of troubleshoot polygroups before you ZRemesh. Right, so we have essentially what is the skull and top of the head. Got the mandibles and the jaw, sort of the jowl down here. Oh, Chrissy, sorry I missed you, man. All right, well, hope you come back soon. It'd be fun to hang out. Oh man, you can see the. If I hide this, see the gums in there. Pretty rad, huh? We go to subtool and solo that. Blah. Okay, so we've broken out. Essentially, we've broken out the polygroups that we're looking for. Let's move over to the arms. I think they're all separated out symmetrically. Yeah. We solo them. So we've got the back legs, middle, front. Good. Sorry about the siren in the back. And I wonder if these are these out in separate. So auto group them. I want the little spines to be separate ones. Do that really fast. Good, those are all separate. Okay, now when we go to unwrap this, it's going to make a lot more sense. Nobody likes UVing. Even watching UVing might not be so fun. What do you think? Do you want to voice chat, Sedge? What, like right now? I mean, sure, that'd be fine. Give me a call on Discord. Oh, stream voice chat. Give me a second here. Oh, cool. Hey guys.
There he is.
What's up?
How you doing?
Good. I'm just chatting.
Yeah, I'm
We're talking about
sculpting right now.
anime.
Oh, okay. I'm not a big fan, but I do like the a lot of the stuff that comes out of Studio Ghibli.
Oh yeah, but
Yeah, everyone
they
says
just make
that.
art.
Everyone says that. I'm not a big fan, but I like those movies.
I love the artists that
I
work
know,
for him.
the art's beautiful.
Yeah.
So what do you think of Avatar: The Last Airbender?
Oh god.
I don't know. I haven't seen it.
Dang it, I was gonna make fun of you.
I'm definitely more of a sci-fi guy.
Oh, if you're like a sci-fi and you want to get into anime, Legends of the Galactic Heroes. And that's like endless space. The whole time watching it, it's like, oh, endless space.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's like, I think it's regarded as one of the best animes ever made. And it's,
Oh, I need to watch
I haven't finished it, but it's the setting is that everyone on Earth leaves Earth. I forgot the reason. Maybe we destroyed Earth. I think that's the reason.
Uh-huh.
Through time, we just found these other constellations with planets, and we settled there. But then this one guy decided to like go his own way, and he brought back like all the imperialistic society and monarchy. And then the democracy planets were kept fighting, and they've been fighting for like hundreds of years. And there's like massive amounts of planets, and each planet is ruled by either the democracy worlds like the Allied systems or the imperial stuff. And all it is huge fleets just destroying each other, and then political dialogue about like democracy and imperialism and stuff. It's good. It's real good. So
Cool.
like the battles with tactics, it's really good.
That sounds interesting.
It's really
I don't normally like sci-fi, but like TV shows. That sounds really good.
Yeah.
I'm just remeshing my model right now. Always takes a
It
couple
looks
minutes.
nice so far.
Thanks. Yeah,
It
that's
makes me want to play Endless Legend.
that was my goal. Also, I love the characters, so I thought I would sculpt one. You see, I don't know if you guys are watching, but now I have much cleaner topology.
I like it. It looks very.
Oh, what is that? Oh, is that from Legend?
Yeah, it's the Proliferator for the Necrophage.
Cool. So what are you doing?
I'm just I'm making a fan model of it, and it'll probably be a lot higher res than the one that's in the game. Sort of my interpretation of it.
If I could replace the in-game version with that would be.
Would be cool. So
want to do that.
I dropped it down. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Yeah, I dropped it down to at about half the res that it was before, but I stored a history of the original, and now I'll reproject the history onto the low res. So you'll see that right now. Project history. No.
Model, because I think I could just like send that to you if I could find it.
And I want to go lower, so I probably want to get this around 100k or lower. So we'll do half ZBrush again. And then you'll see I'll go back up in res and reproject from the higher res. And then we'll start sculpting in HD.
That's pretty cool.
HD resolution. Yeah.
Do you want me to like, because I just do this for fun, do you want me to like hack into Endless Legend and get you like the original Proliferator model?
Are you kidding? That would be amazing. I'd love to compare it.
I've never tried exporting a model, but I'd love to.
I would love to see if you could do that. Yeah.
I'm gonna try. I have the folder open.
Right. So now it's lower.
First time I started playing Endless Legend, I was playing the Necrophages, and I liked them a lot. But the Beetle
Uh huh. The what is that? It's the tier 2
Oh,
Spear.
that
unit.
would be so grotesque. I'd love that.
Just like have like, I guess, uh, ever see that
Sorry, you cut out.
legs on each side?
The one with how legs on each side.
The ones how they like walked around like humanoid. Hello. Internet.
Yeah, I don't remember which one. There's one that's sort of humanoid. There's one that's like a beetle,
Hold on.
like that.
There's the Christopher Walken character. Okay, so here. Send it to you.
Okay.
Like, I wanted the necrophage beetle to look like this guy, but with like, like stronger looking and like wings and stuff. Because I didn't like the idea of a beetle just being such a really important unit to have. It just bothered me. I always wanted him to have like a humanoid aspect. Is it possible to make him look like this? Or you can't go beyond that?
To make the one of the necrophage units look humanoid. Very good. Yeah.
Oh my god. I would love if you did that.
I mean, I could. Sky's the limit with sculpting.
That's so
I could do
cool.
pretty much any character. So, I love doing stuff like this, but I can also do human characters.
That's cool.
I'm working on a VR game right now,
Oh,
and
the
I'm the.
screenshots you sent me from that are so cool.
Thanks, man. Yeah, it's been a great project to work on. We're nearing the finish line for my work, production work, but it'll be releasing sometime towards the end of this year on Steam. But I'm not involved in the animation. I'm the concept artist for it and the sculptor, the guy who makes all the high res sculpts for it.
I don't know what kind of game this is going to be, but I'm interested.
Sort of it's a puzzle game based on how would I put it? It's a puzzle game that is similar to sort of. Let me just link you. Actually, that would be easier. I didn't want to make it the focus of the stream, but
I'm stupid. I accidentally opened Endless Space 2 instead of Endless Legend, and I've been confused for like 5 minutes as to why nothing looks the same.
yeah, the game is called Hush in Search of Dominic Ward. And you won't see much of my stuff on there yet, but they have a sort of initial preview video up.
I'll definitely watch it.
Oh, so it's a puzzle game.
Essentially, yeah.
That's cool.
Oh shoot, when we Z-remeshed, was talking, so we always have to turn on keep groups, or else all of that information disappears. But we have to redo that process, that's okay.
Okay, I think I found the, oh crap, no, sorry, there's so many different things, I'm not sure what I'm saying, but I think I have found the, stuff for the Proliferator.
Okay.
It comes in lots of different pieces, so you may be spammed. Do you want just the OBJ, or do you want textures too?
Both would be great.
Okay. Okay, I'm sending them to your
That's really cool. I didn't know that you could actually extract it.
You can't.
Oh.
Sorry, this is taking my attention. I don't actually know where I exported everything, so I have to try to get it done and find it. I see. I made my life difficult.
Just doing a little cleanup to the jaw. I didn't like how it was for the poly group that we had. So, right. One other thing that we might want to do is polygroups similar. Excuse me, merge stray is. And any of the little ones that are on the edge that we might have flipped will be consolidated into.
Stuff's finally uploading. I don't know how long it'll take me to upload, but hey, it's trying.
Oh, that's alright. Does it show you what res the textures are at? That might be one of the reasons. And there's no rush because I won't be. I mean, I guess I could open it up stream. I could actually open it up into this project if it's okay. We could.
Yeah, it is.
Take a look at it. The differences, because I'm sure mine is a lot different than the one that they made. So.
Hey, they both sent.
Oh, cool. Okay.
That little mouth bit they keep like soloing out. It looks terrifying. So what are all of your favorite factions in both Endless Space 2 and Endless Legend?
And Endless Legend, it's definitely Broken Lords and Necrophages.
So Broken
I like
Lords and Necrophages?
Yeah.
Necrophages and Wild Walkers.
I don't respect your choice of Wild Walkers. I'm sorry.
I love it. I think they're great.
I haven't played the last two expansions in Endless Legend, but
I didn't like what's it called? The fungus one with the Mycar. I don't remember.
Yeah, the last one that they made.
I don't remember what it's called. It's like Overgrowth.
Symbiosis.
Symbiosis. But I absolutely love Inferno. I think it's one of my favorite DLCs, like second to only Tempest.
Yeah, it looked cool, but like when I was looking at it, they sound like children. I didn't want to be children.
They're not children. They're just goblins. That's why they look weird.
I don't know. So this like Endless Amplitude Studios, they do like weird voiceover choices sometimes.
Amplitude didn't make the last two DLCs for Endless Legend, so it's a completely different team that made them.
It's true.
But they don't really look like children in my opinion. I find that a weird description, and for some reason that makes me especially uncomfortable.
I don't know. Like when you look at the trailer, doesn't it sound like they're a bunch of kids? It's like I don't want to be kids. They should have been like talking, with a deeper voice or a goblin voice, but they're like talking like kids.
Well, they're like nasally goblin people.
I didn't buy it.
They look like this.
Yeah, I know how they look.
Okay.
But that's not how they sound. They're like, oh boy, lava.
We'll make this world our paradise.
Yeah. Oh boy. There's definitely something going on with the voiceovers in this game.
I
For
thought
instance, when you start a new game, especially with the Nakaline, when the
Mm-hmm.
guy's talking, it's like there's commas in the sentence or periods, and he'll just stop talking. And it's like no one talks like this. Like the sentence, the way he says it, it drives me crazy. It'll be like, I'm going to the supermarket, right? It'll be like, I'm going to the supermarket. You know, it bothers me
Well,
so
it's a
much.
The
narration, so
cadence,
it's already
yeah.
gonna be weird.
It's like, why is this guy speaking so slowly and so like strange? I'm
Yeah.
telling you, it's not me. It's in there. If you listen to any of the
I don't
the
want to
intros,
believe you, because then that's all I'll hear.
oh, it's so strange. It takes like a half hour to get going. I love the
My
game though, but
favorite,
I'll hate on it.
My favorite voice actor is, I think the two are tied. It's Lou Maris and the Horatio voice actor.
Oh yeah, those are great. But whoever
The
intros them,
Horatio one, they
is
got
bad.
it down perfectly.
yeah, the Horatio's great.
And the Lou Maris one, she she was chosen. Everybody knows that she was chosen to be the leader of the Lou Maris because she had the biggest tits. But like that's literally the lore. That's not just me being rude. But they nailed her character perfectly.
So now I'm just going back up the subdivision levels and reprojecting the history. We don't have that much, we don't have high res detail really. I'll get it up to around 1 million,
Aim
and
to me
then
right now because my internet's freaking out.
we're gonna go into high res.
I want to see the Endless Legend version of the Proliferator. I'm very excited for that.
So you did send it over? Oh yeah, you did.
Yeah, it's in your
Oh, cool.
Steam, or not Steam, Discord. All of the different layers.
The OBJ's in there too? Oh yeah, I see it.
Yep. And I think there are some other random things in there, but that's okay.
This is awesome. I didn't think that I'd ever even get this.
In Endless Space, you can just export it yourself. There's an option for it, but
Yeah.
Endless Legend, they make it so hard. IFTs are a cracking tool just to get anything.
I'll save it out as original, and we'll add all the textures. See, we've got this is the diffuse map. At least that's what it looks like. Save it out, open original. Ooh, it's not that high res. Interesting. PNG. Yeah, we'll make a texture folder. Ooh, I'm really excited to see this too, because we'll be able to see it in ZBrush.
I'm shaking anticipation. Oh, did you notice the Endless Space gaming icon?
I didn't. What is this? Is this roughness? Might be rough. I'm going through all your stuff. Oh, specular. Okay. Luckily, the maps say what they are. They're very clear.
Yeah, the title should keep.
This is the height map.
Programs like this are
Normals.
so cool. I cannot understand them. I've had classes on them, all sorts of stuff. I just don't mentally comprehend these.
And then, like a mask here. Yeah, mask. I really don't need a mask, but I'm wondering why they had one.
I don't think the mask would.
Oh, I know what the mask is for. It's marked where all the yellow is. So, like, if you have a different color, so like this mask would activate if you wanted blue units, and it would project blue over it instead of yellow. But the base is yellow. Interesting. So I can I'll import the original
Side.
right now.
Let's
Oh.
see what it looks like.
Oh,
Is that it? Oh no.
let's not import it.
What is that nightmarish?
I don't know, man.
It looks like it's missing half of its body. I think it might have corrupted when I exported it.
Yeah, it might have corrupted it somehow. If I try
It
and
might just be that the because you know how the mesh doesn't look the same as the pictures from the concept art.
yeah, of course
That
not.
could be it, but it looks just too different.
I think I'm gonna try and import it into Modo, and then
Okay.
we'll see if it's sometimes it could either be corrupted or it could just be for some reason it doesn't like being imported through ZBrush. But I don't know. It should just import. There shouldn't be an issue. Or
Oh yeah, what are your guys' favorite Endless Space factions? Never answered that.
Oh, I already talked about mine.
I remember that. Empire.
okay, yeah, it's all in tries. Oh wow, it's like upside down. It doesn't come in. I'm not sure if that's how they do all their models, or I can show you.
Hey, Psychona's in the chat.
They actually broke it out kind of similarly. Yeah, I still need to add these. There's like antenna on the back I didn't add yet. That can be separate meshes. It's very simple though. But all the detail comes from those maps when they go to bake out. Oh, hi Psychana. How's it going? Yeah, I'm
I expected you to join with a bird pun.
let me export this because it might be the way that it was exported, the way that, and it's also all tries.
Yes, bird
So just layer. There might be something in there that ZBrush doesn't like too. I'll look at the maps. I'm gonna delete the normals on it.
That's amazing. We're
Right.
looking at the Proliferator from Endless Legend, the original model, and comparing it.
Here, also, I realized that my screen just shows like the gums of the character I'm working on. So,
Half of its body is missing.
Whoops.
wait, where did everything go? Oh my god, are you kidding me?
Oh, I'm too quiet in the background, apparently. I need to be louder.
Where did all my subtools go? Oh no! Oh no, dudes.
What
I think
happened?
when I imported over.
Oh, no.
Yeah, I forgot about that. That's no fun. There's no way to go back either. I've done this before. It's terrible. Yay! So Psychana, this is the model here.
Turned up. My voice is too quiet for the mortal realm to comprehend.
ZBrush being janky, what? Yeah.
You do sound a little quiet from the last time I heard your voice.
Let me turn it
mic
up in
still.
OBS.
Let me see.
Yeah, I turned it up.
Let me increase my volume level by 1. Is that better?
Yeah, it's good.
It
Okay.
could just be my desktop audio I turned up. We can hear it better now. Go ahead and talk normally.
Hello, I'm here and I am talking, and
That should
I have
be
your
much
stream
better.
muted so I don't hear like recursion through my microphone and feedback.
Oh man, I shouldn't have tried to import that, because that totally effed everything. But that was my bad, because I should have known better. I just wasn't thinking. I usually don't import stuff mid-sculpt. Well, let's try that again, boys and girls. Now
Okay.
that Psychana is here, she can actually see what I'm doing. Like, understand where I'm at in the process. So, Psychana, do you work in ZBrush? Or do you just know how temperamental it is?
I see. That's such a cool degree.
Oh, wow. Okay.
If I had any talent in art, I would love to do that.
Yeah, I have a background in biology.
In what?
Biology. I study biology.
Whoa, I wasn't expecting that.
And German. So I got into it on my own, self-taught. I'm a retoucher too. So.
Nice.
So I do a lot of photography. So I
noticed you
mostly
just whisked
from
up an
advertising.
image.
I wisp up an image. Yeah, I can make images.
Yeah.
Really. I mean, that's what I do. So
The Discord server's icon, something you made.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So then I'm going to... Actually, I'll just solo again our main body here, and I'll switch to our select lasso tool.
Living the luxurious life. Getting paid to break things sounds awesome. I'm sorry if my mic sounds a little worse than usual. I'm not home.
Oh wow!
I'm just sitting at my grandparents' computer.
You did more programming and stuff, more of the technical aspect of it, I would imagine. I mean, this is technical art too, different from putting a pen on paper.
I have a friend who works at Microsoft who tried to teach me some programming, and they gave up because I was too frustrating.
Yeah.
It's just so hard. Like, there's no easy way to get into it, despite what anybody says.
Damn, if you don't assimilate a minor fraction on endless difficulty in like 10 turns or less, it just stabs it. It's impossible.
I hate it. They're so frustrating. I don't like how they just don't respect your territory. They just
don't.
like, they'll prance in, they'll colonize right next to, and then they're like, "Hey, friend, do you want us to take that minor faction near you that you've been trying to assimilate for 30 turns?"
But they'll like just find it. Like I'll see the scout go into the system, and then in like 5 turns,
they'll pour the past 20 turns of influence into
They'll
it.
just. I'm curious what the AI does. Does it just click the button like 5 times and max it out?
I'm pretty sure that's what it does. because I've had the same problem during testing for my mods, and I've noticed that anytime they encounter it, their influence drops to the bare minimum. So until the price, they just keep pouring influence into it until it's too much to buy.
Yeah, and there's such good. Look at this, +5 gold for curiosities discovered. Oh my
So
god!
I don't think my brain's wired to program either. I was pretty good in math, but I don't know. I think it's like anything, right? You just have to like it and then study. And once you do that, once you practice, you just have to apply it, and eventually you'll get good.
Mathematical programming.
A lot of people will say "Oh, I'm not good at math." Well, you haven't studied. Or they'll say like, "Oh, well, I'm terrible at art. I'm just not gifted." I'm sorry, but it's all about practice. Like, I'm not gifted either. But
my problem with art is that I do not think. I think very technically. So art is I just can't imagine drawing.
Yeah. Well,
I'd love to be good at art. I just don't think I could have the patience for it.
there is a certain amount of patience. I won't deny it. But it's like anything. Like, you build up a tolerance to kind of what you're doing.
Yeah. No, it's the first you playing Endless Space for the first time, and the first faction you meet is Cravers. That'd probably be terrifying.
Yeah. The risk I took was calculated, but man, I'm bad at math, is me.
Built the wrong one.
Alright, so
oh no, what did you do?
Built the wrong one, boys!
What did you build the wrong thing of?
Had 2 different arcs. One's a battleship and one's a system ship, and I built the wrong one.
So, boys and girls, this is the importance of giving. Although we might have had a, if I check autosave, it may have quick saved a version of it. It didn't.
Dang it!
I mean, I'd have to go back here. I'll just do it again. It wasn't that hard. I mean, come on. It was just masking off, the polygroups and everything. So then we'll save this as a state. History state by control clicking on the timeline there. Go ahead and de-remesh again. Half res. Before we do that, this is all still.
Oh, I do want that horror story. Please tell.
We'll split hidden. Gotta go back here again. I'll split out the tongue again.
Oh no, you said the J word.
Alright, split the teeth out. Now we're just left with the little stumpy things on the back. We'll keep those as part of the body. And now we can remesh it.
Any game made in JavaScript is a nightmare. JavaScript in itself is a nightmare. I took one class, I dropped out. It was so terrible. Oh no. Oh no, that's horrible.
You know what, I cheat.
Oh, that's so sucky. Oh no. That's like the worst case scenario for what to happen with programming. Oh forks.
We also want the gums to be separate again.
Oh, apparently there's an endless space D&D group that's getting set up. I
D&D
just saw
group?
that in
What?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I don't know what that means.
I think I
no,
saw
endless
that
legend
earlier.
D&D group. Some dude asked a question, and now they're planning and organizing something.
That's cool.
Oh, that's so sad.
I don't
The
really know
art
much
for
about
that.
the lore.
I'm writing my final for my English class is writing a 20-page essay on the history of the endless universe.
Jeez, cool.
So I can tell you all the information you need to know. I've been researching for a while.
So we're just remeshing again. Yeah, for those of you who didn't catch it, I imported a model over my face sculpt.
I feel bad now.
Oh man, I was not paying attention. And we will turn this smooth down. We'll just project from history again. He's not separated out.
I would love to play endless theme D&D. That would be so fun. I have a feeling you'd take the Nydia character.
What is that?
The bird miner faction.
Oh yeah.
Though they're just dumb. Like, they have no intelligence.
Hole here? No. Same? To fix that. See if it's a hole. I'm pretty sure it is.
Hungry bug thing.
And we'll make it. We're gonna go down in subdivision levels anyway, so
Yeah, the necrophages are terrifying. I love the design so much. That's what got me into Endless Legend, actually. I saw concept art for it.
oh cool.
When did you guys start playing?
I
Like
started
endless
playing
games
with
in general?
Endless Space, the first one.
Yeah, I started with
Ah.
space.
So you guys
And then
are
Endless Legend and all that.
OGs.
Yeah, I guess so.
I got Endless Legend around the time the Kapaku came out. And then I would notice that Endless Space is on sale too. So I bought that around the time Supremacy is coming out. Oh, yes. Ooh. Oh, so you're an OG Psychono. I see.
Right. So the way it didn't want those, I had double geometry really hidden. Now they're gone, and I just have the one. Which also needs to be
I've never played the Masters of Orion, but I heard what happened.
What happened with that game?
It just never got anywhere. Like, I don't know how to describe it. I think it never got a sequel or anything, or it was really bad. Oh yeah,
the recent Master of Orion
3.
Not great.
I heard it was terrible.
The recent Master of Orion, it even had like really great voice actors. Like they just got so many great voice actors for the game, like famous people, and then the actual game terrible.
Yeah, I've heard that. Master of Orion 3 has 60% positive reviews. Masters of Orion 4 has 80 to 90% positive reviews.
Oh, it does? Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I just didn't find it, like, I don't think very many people play it, though. Doesn't have the staying power of...
It came around the same time as Endless Space 2, so it kind of...
That has to do a lot with a game's success, is timing, man.
Yeah. I think Endless Legend came out at like a perfect time.
Like, you have to come out when there's no competition. Because I remember there was games where, like, they would come out and then it would be like some Blizzard Warcraft update, like 3 weeks ahead of that. And you know all the players are just going to leave and just play that game and then just... Ugh. It's terrible.
Yeah, right.
Endless Legend came out right as Civ 5 was dying down. And Civ 6 had been announced, but nobody was really impressed by it.
I don't understand the hate for Civ 6. I thought it was a fine game.
I think it's a good game.
Didn't like the color palette.
It looks too cartoony for me, but that's not my problem with it. It just feels really dumbed down compared to... Because I went from Alpha Centauri to Civ 5 to Civ 6. And I love Civ 5, but Civ 6 just felt so dumbed down. I had such a hard time playing it. I hope Endless Legend 2 comes out sometime. They said that they have no idea if they even want to do it, but I hope it does.
They gotta do it. They gotta do
it. Yeah. Primordia and Alpha Centauri.
And I liked what Civ did with the districts. How they like.
I love the districts.
The Endless Legend district system. I was like, okay, this is good. This is very good.
Mm-hmm.
You'll love the Humankind district system.
Yeah, I can't wait.
It's so complicated. I love it.
I made a post about this before. I was hoping. I was asking about trade routes. Is trade routes a thing you can actually see and like sack or destroy? Because in all Amplitude games, it's just like an invisible thing that happens. It's just stats.
Yeah. So from what I can see, there's a place for a trade menu, but it doesn't look like it's been implemented yet. If it's coming.
Oh boy.
So there is a trick. I don't know.
Because I'm thinking like Civ 5, how there's trade routes walking around. You know, like
I love those. I loved raiding those.
Yeah, it's more immersive. But in Endless Legend, one of the reasons I got it is in the preview. You see these
you
ships
see the
passing.
ships.
Yeah,
and
they baited me so hard.
Too.
They baited me so hard.
I don't know why they removed that. I was so sad.
Well, they're in the game. It's just they made it look like it's a trade route, but no, it's just two units that are in the water just passing each other. They just
reused the models for that. I think it became the barrage ship. I forgot what it was called.
Yeah. I don't like that deception. That was dirty. That was so dirty. If I was the editor, I'm like, guys, we shouldn't put this shot in here.
I think it was planned at the time, which is what makes me so sad. And then they just didn't put it in. There are so many things I'm sad about with the past 3 DLCs that they removed. like Morgar, were supposed to live entirely in the water, no land cities at all. And the cities would have been underwater, and you would have had to research special diving stuff to attack them. The
Oh,
Kapaku, they were going to have population that you had to construct. They're only going to be golems.
wow.
And the Maikara, I heard that they were supposed to be way scarier and spread like fungus everywhere, instead of just building the little fungal outposts. But that never happened either. So it'd have been like a secondary biome on top of the other one, where they would heal. But none of those ever ended up happening because they were too scary. And you got
Scary.
bastions and the Kapaku and Maikara we know and love. Hey, Saikana, you should join our Endless Space noob multiplayer server.
You should also follow my channel.
We should get a game going. Like right
shameless plug.
I'd love to play a game with all the people on that server.
Great new.
Here, let me just boop.
Want to play?
Oh no, it's gone black.
You guys see that?
I do.
I just
What is it?
overlaid. Here, I'm overlaying the Moto window. It's the original model, the low res. See that at the top right there? Here, I'll transfer over to it.
Oh, it's just a lump. That's so funny.
Yeah, but you know, that's the one that they animate, and then all the maps project over it. Here, I'll move. You guys can see it here. Very basic, right? But that's how it works in games, and it's here's the UVs all like separated. Like this. Very simple, right? And the proportions are a lot different too. I noticed, but I was going off the concept art. So there's like this isometric view that went off.
Endless Legend has some of the coolest concept art I've ever seen.
Oh, totally.
I already tossed it your way. I pasted it a little bit above. But like the Fomorian concept art, that stuff's so cool.
Fomorian?
You know what they are, right?
Show me.
So you know the. Let me go to the art station really quickly. But you know the bastions in Endless. Trying to think. Endless Legends.
Mm-hmm.
The bastions.
Those the Fomorians are the guys who live on it. They're the little robots with like tentacle arms.
Oh.
Where is it?
There's some funky UVs, but I don't care.
So, I'm posting it in the Sedge's chat so people can see. But that was the original concept art for the Fomorians. They were supposed to be their own race, and you could hire their units and stuff.
Okay, cool.
Oh, he died. What?
I clicked the wrong button. I'm trying to look at that picture you posted. What channel was it?
It's in Sedge's Twitch chat. Do you want me to just DM it to you?
I'll just go. Oh, hold on.
Okay.
I'm looking at his Twitch chat. I don't see anything.
Why are no links showing up? What's going on?
I don't know. Maybe I have that disabled. I don't know enough about it. I think there's an option where you can like. I have to enable that in order for that to work.
Those look cool.
Yeah, I love them. The only art of them in the game is during the sea quests. Let me see if I
Jeez.
can find the picture.
I'm really liking the third one with the big dome. He looks
Yeah,
cool.
looks like some sort of I don't even know what to call it, like diver or something.
Yeah, like a behemoth type guy. That's sick.
Oh no, Chrissy's already responding to everything with the wide smile emoji. But yeah, those guys were
So Chrissy's
supposed
on?
to. So look in the museum chat and look at the image I posted before the Fomorian one, and he's responding with my new favorite emoji.
But I'm busy.
Oh, I have a question for you, Sedge.
Yeah. Shoot.
When do you want to do the next Endless Space stream?
I was thinking tomorrow, maybe. You're down.
Ooh, sure. So it's 4:15 for you right now, right?
That's right. It's 4:15 Central Time.
I get home around, let's see, 12 your time.
Okay. Well, let's do it. Let's see. I know Chrissy's in Germany, so that would put, if we did it at when you got home, it would put it at 7 his time. I think I need to push it a little bit later, like around 3 my time. Possible. We'll see. We gotta.
Okay.
The German is the limiting factor. But I would like to do it tomorrow if possible. That would be great. We'll see how it works.
And we have so many people who want to join now. I'm excited for when the next one starts.
Oh, me too. That's going to be great. If we go back in history, not project.
Oh, I know I mentioned this briefly a little bit ago, like a few hours ago.
Mm-hmm.
But that test I was going to, I passed at the minimum.
Passed?
Yeah, minimum score.
Oh. Congrats. Sorry,
Great.
I'm doing stuff which requires quite a lot
Never
of
thought
CPU, and I might be stuttering out a bit.
Psychona.
Okay. Good. So we're finally back where we were before. With
I feel so bad now.
we've done a bit more as well. So we're
Okay.
It's okay. It's all good. Plus, I'm getting used to sculpting and talking to people while I'm streaming. Really difficult. A lot more difficult than I thought it would be. So, let's see. Just have UVs. Yeah. So now we'll bring this up to. Actually, I want to work on the. So we'll finally get back to sculpting. Everything has to be kind of low intensity now because we have our basic forms locked in.
We should talk about more anime.
Go ahead.
I don't know any off the top of my head.
think the
Do any of
thing-
you watch Isekai Quartet?
No.
Oh
I'm
man,
mostly like a old school type of anime guy.
none of the new stuff.
Like I've seen some new stuff, and I just always think I just think everything's shit right now. I don't know. I'm like super cynical about media.
It's a
Like, I'll
different
go to
kind
the
of
movie
style.
theater and I'll hate it. I saw Vinland, and I thought it was all right.
Really, I've heard Vinland is like best of the year.
Yeah, but when you watch it, it's interesting because I'm like, oh, anime style show with Vikings. That sounds fun. I've never seen that before. And it's the same shit with this angsty kid. He just wants to kill everyone. And it's just like anime got into this funk where everyone has to be Eren Yeager from Attack on Titan. And it's driving me crazy. Like, I just don't. Maybe because I'm just getting older, I just don't empathize with those type of characters. I always like the older anime characters that are wise.
Well, isn't it literally
there's an
made
episode
for
where
that?
it's exactly like Attack on Titan. Where he's like, "I'm gonna kill you. I'll kill everyone." Like this whole mission is just killing everyone that wronged him. But the show only is good in my eyes because they sideline that guy like the whole season, so you don't really get much of it. Because there's other guys in this like band of mercenaries that are cool. Like there's a guy who's like he has like Roman blood, and he has like Roman armor, and he's awesome. That's the only reason I watch the show is because of these minor characters. The main guy sucks. So like that anime,
I really expected that to be made by Shonen Jump, but apparently it wasn't.
I think it's made by the same people who made Attack on Titan. When like I looked it up.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh no.
And it's like every anime character is just fucking bloodthirsty and crazy. It's like just stop.
Oh yep, they did do Attack on Titan.
Yeah, so it's like this, and I thought it was the same guy. They sound exactly the same, but it's not.
Oh no, that's like the worst mistake to make.
Dude. So I just like older animes. Like I always talk to like other people that watch anime. I'm like, you ever see Trigun? They're like, no. I'm like, come on, man. You don't watch Trigun? Like, what the fuck?
You're a
So
hipster
good.
for anime.
I'm not though. I'm not. I just know it's good. That's all.
Wait a second.
Like, yeah.
Did you watch?
Legends of
Did
the
you watch
Galactic
Shield
Hero?
Hero?
Shield Hero? Never heard of it.
Oh, that one's good. That was one of my favorites last year. Did you watch Megalobox?
Oh.
Oh, okay. I think you should watch that one. I think you might actually like it.
Megalobox. What's that about?
So it's based off of a true story, but adapted into a sci-fi setting. It's celebrating the 50th anniversary of Japan's most famous boxer, and it's supposed to be about how he was the only boxer at the time not using drugs. However, since they adapted it into sci-fi, it's about him being the only boxer not to use cyborgs. So it's just a guy getting... It's like made in classic anime style, and it's just a guy getting beat up by boxers. It's essentially Punch Out the TV show. It's really good.
Yeah. I know you.
It's such a terrible name. That's my only complaint.
So this is our, if you guys are just joining us, this is our Let's Sculpt / anime podcast.
Good anime podcast? Good anime only?
What TV show, what anime do you hate the most?
Do I hate the most?
Yeah.
I mean, most of it.
I don't really.
Almost everything.
I don't have one that comes to mind. It's just like I just don't watch it. I'll just.
I see.
Naruto.
Yeah, but that's the thing.
The
Though,
one
like,
everybody knows.
I probably
That and
wouldn't
One
like
Punch
that
Man.
anime, but I don't watch it, so it's just I have no opinion on it.
Naruto
Just watch the old stuff.
Naruto.
Akiro.
I think the only reason it was popular is because it was different from what was out at the time.
I like Seven Samurai and the old
I've
movies,
never heard.
Japanese movies from the 50s. are really good. Akira Kurosawa. Oh, sorry guys.
Yeah, 7/7.
What was that? Oh
It's my
man,
phone,
that
but I
scared
don't
me.
know where it is.
I realize what I hate. I hate One Punch Man Season 2. That's what I hate.
A man of culture, I see.
I thought it was the worst. It was the worst downgrade I've seen since Berserk 2016.
The story is fine. The story is not the problem. It was the art.
It's
The art
every-
was so terrible.
Even the writing though, the jokes fell flat. Like all the humor
They didn't
was
like
just down.
perform them well. They were really funny in the manga, but in the TV
Dude.
show, they just absolutely butchered all of them.
Dude,
The only thing I found funny was
so
the
bad.
banana. The
I was
banana
about to
scene.
say that, the banana. Oh my god, they couldn't even animate a banana. Oh my, it looked like a rock. I was about to say the banana. Oh god, he puts the banana on the guy's like chest in the hospital, and I'm like, this banana looks like shit.
This isn't funny at all if you don't know the context. But the main character, he buys a bunch of bananas for his injured hero friend,
Uh-huh.
and he places them on his chest, and then takes half of them and starts eating them. And then he notices that another one of his friends is to the left and talking to him too, and he's like, "Oh, hey, do you want a banana?" And the guy he originally gave the bananas to was looking offended. That was the only funny scene in the entire TV show. One Punch Man season 2.
I don't think I've ever laughed. It was just bad. Everything about it was awful.
I'm surprised you guys.
Season
haven't-
1 was a masterwork.
If you guys.
Oh yeah,
like
season one's a
anime,
masterpiece.
You really should know Akira Kurosawa. One of the greatest film directors of all time.
Oh, I know about Kira. It's
Oh,
great.
okay.
I just
There's
don't
the,
watch very much
Rashomon?
TV.
Oh yeah, Rashomon, sure.
Rashomon's good.
Oh man, I just
What
saw this
else?
awesome.
Hidden Fortress. I don't really remember. I saw
Fortress,
that a
right.
long time ago.
I still
That's
haven't
the one
seen
that Star Wars is based on.
Yeah. I just saw this awesome Chinese movie that reminded me a lot of Akira Kurosawa. That's on Netflix.
Oh, that's Hero, right?
It's called Shadow.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
It's
I
the
didn't
same
know that.
director, but that director made a movie called Shadow with Jet Li. Made a movie called Hero with Jet Li,
Hero.
and it's Rashomon, like 100% Rashomon,
Gotcha.
and it's like every different telling of the story is in a different color, and it's fucking great. It's like a lot of my friends think it's a propaganda film for communism and dictatorship. I think the movie just makes sense because instead of having all these small wars everywhere, why not just have one big war and conquer the whole nation, and then you're just peace later on?
Mm-hmm.
But it's like, oh, you fucking communist. When you watch the movie, it'll make sense. Because I was like all for the Emperor. I'm like, yeah, I know this guy. I understand it. Good movie. Oh.
So there's still a lot of room for secondary detail. And I'm just going through because it doesn't make sense to go into even higher res when there's still a lot of things we can.
I saw a thread a few months ago when Awakening came out, complaining about my review on The Awakening.
Oh, I didn't know.
It was like it was entirely dedicated to my review, because I was like the first negative review, and I had the most upvotes until I deleted the review,
Oh yeah.
and nothing worked at the time, and they were fixed a week later. So everybody's trying to make fun of me for being stupid.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think
I-
the
it just
Awakening's
didn't work.
okay still.
The what?
The voting for the Academy, I think, is like kind of lackluster.
I think it's so dumb. Like, I don't like any part of The Awakening.
It's like you can't pick which one you want to be. There's no
Yeah,
what happens if you don't want to be the number one guy? You want to be like the number 3 guy. Like it's just all that whole thing. It just seems it
Yeah.
looked cool in the trailer. Like, oh shit, but it's like what?
My big issue with it is that fleet is too powerful.
It's the Ender's voice. Yeah, they
Way
are
too
well
powerful.
aware of that, and they just
Yeah.
don't fix it.
I don't understand. Yeah, that needs to be toned down a bit. Especially the first round. I posted about it in the forums. The first round, if you win, you can... It has a movement speed of 16, that fleet. So you can get to an enemy capital, siege it, well, actually just destroy it the next turn. You can just raise your enemy capital.
That's so dumb.
And then if you've scouted properly, by that time you should have scouted at least 2 opponents. Then just fly to the next capital and destroy it, and those 2 players are effectively done. You're so set back that... And I did that in a multiplayer game. I have not been able to play with them since I did that.
I noticed you disabled the academy, and I was not complaining.
They think I'm too evil now. These 2 Russian players.
I wish you could have the option to turn it off, because the Nakalim is actually a really cool faction.
Yeah, it really is. I like the faction. I just don't like some of the mechanics, the academy.
Mm-hmm.
I also don't like how you can't actually own the academy without being at war with the academy anymore, pretty much. They'll want it back.
I think that's stupid.
I
think the librarian should also get information on all of the hero... it should get all the information that you used to get from owning the academy planet.
Yeah.
But the librarian's, absolutely useless.
Uh-huh.
You only get to rent from the academy.
Right. Yeah, I agree.
Oh.
If they can fix, those couple of things, it'll be a great expansion. It's gonna take a couple of patches to do that.
Yeah, just disabling the academy would save it for me. I would keep it for the Knuckling. Disabling hacking would save Penumbra for me too.
Yeah, an option to disable the faction would be good.
I've not met very many people that have liked hacking.
Yeah, I think the hacking's...
And if they do, they fight me quite a bit on it.
It could be better.
But in general, it's better than Awakening, I think. It's a bit more.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Because
Awakening, when it first came out, nothing was functional. Not even the art.
Mm-hmm. Right.
It looked like I don't know how to say it. Isander had taken a hammer to the head. And so the art, the animated sprite for him,
mm-hmm.
had a dent on the top of his head in the glass, and the effect kept going. How his Vojani suit glows. It would go up to where the dent should have his head, but there was no head for it to glow from, and it was really strange, and it really bothered me.
Weird.
They fixed that a day later.
When the Lost are coming, because in the very first part of the game, when it first came out, there was that tease that the Lost was coming. That he's summoning the Lost, and he's where's the Lost?
We have no information about them in the lore, and that's so frustrating.
I want them to be just giant cravers. Cravers, but bigger.
Craver gods.
And smarter.
See ya, Psychona.
See ya, Psychona. Thanks for joining in. I'll probably be on for a little while here. Probably another couple hours, actually. There's a lot to do.
Are you gonna animate this and stuff? It flies away.
Oh, that'd be badass. No plans to. I mean, I'll have the UV'd low res, but it won't necessarily be in a state that is animatable, because you have to work on the topology to make sure you have the correct edge loops when you're animating. And I don't plan on going through that extra step. It's actually quite labor intensive to make sure that it's
I've
correct.
heard animating is such a time consuming ordeal.
Can be, yeah. That's why you have dedicated animators on all these teams, separate from somebody who might be doing the sculpting a lot of times. Unless you have a real small company, then you might have just generalists working. But most of the time you have somebody who's designing and sculpting, making the maps, and then somebody who is animating everything.
Mm.
And that might even be as normally like it's a separate team that does animation. Might all be part of the art team, but it's different enough that they separate out design and animation. I'm gonna try and add like a tell over here, where it looks like it sort of folds over where the vacuoles are. Just saving for me right now. I actually want to smooth out some of the work I've done side because texture. I really want this to be a bit more planar. I feel like these projections are a little bit too lumpy. So we're going to try to read a little bit better. Just resetting my materials so I can see everything properly. We accidentally painted some material on it. What's really important is you add more secondary details which add weight to this character. This character is huge. Turn the cheat back on. Slightly build up the forms before we go into high res around where teeth are inset. Although on the concept model it looks like they kind of just jut out without much of a breakup in. Still gonna give it appearance they're sold. Where's that tongue? Tongue. Just save it out here. I don't have symmetry on, I'm just... Just want some variation. Break up the funk. Just a little bit. Once we get it up at higher res, I'll put a lot. anytime when you have something that you want to make symmetrical, but it'll be sculpting near the line of symmetry, you want to turn it off when you get close to that line. People will see that and they'll notice that thing is too symmetrical. Faces are never really symmetrical. Switch over to standard brush here. Back a little bit of symmetry here. Oh man, it's auto saving. Crash though. Just quickly save it out because crashed. Dial this intensity down, I think. They've all abandoned you? Well, not everyone's like Anna. It looks so squishy. I know. Check him out. We've got added a lot of detail on him. Didn't have before. I really should play with ZBrush again, though I think the copy I had access to is from the early 2000s. Yeah, so you probably have like 4R4 maybe then? You have a ton of clay and sculpting tools. Yeah, get into it. Even Blender. I don't know if you've tried Blender Psychona, but I actually started there. And even back, I think it was about 8 years ago, they still had a really nice sculpting tool. In Blender, I'm sure it's a lot better now. But Blender is a good option too. You don't want to put down the change, you know, brush. It's actually pretty cheap when it comes to 3D, but still, you know, a good chunk of change to get a professional license. They also have a special version of it now that you can get for just I think it's $150. It has most of the sculpting tools in there. It just doesn't have like the rendering and things like that, which you can do in other programs anyway. Yeah, Blender is free. ZBrush is not. ZBrush is about $900 for a license. And I had one for both Mac and PC, and then they consolidated them to one license for free. And it was funny because I had just bought 2 licenses. And I was so mad. They didn't honor that either. They didn't honor it and either give me my back or give me something better. Yeah. Yeah, I think with the student discount, it's only like, I say only, but a student has a hard time paying. I think it was like $300 for a student license. Where'd my music go? Gone. Student discounts are handy though. Especially for an art student. Any student, really. Coming together, I think. Can't wait to actually start painting this. What I did before, I don't know if you saw it, Psychona, it was I posted, it was a model with a Photoshop paint over. Sort of like the first pass that I did on Reddit. But I wanted to take this much further, you know, and I'll probably render in Substance Painter, which is, it has a nice renderer for models like this. It's got, I think it's a version of V-Ray, that they have in there. Student debt, not so handy. Yeah. I don't have the discounts anymore either, unfortunately. Oh, cool. Yeah, you saw the Draken? Yeah, that was the other one that I was working on stream that I then painted over. I'd like to take both of them further. Like, I want to grab the Draken and do a high res, and also get, you know, actually do a body and some clothing on them. It'd be fun. Trying to keep it consistent across the model. I want some forms that sort of break up straight his tail looks in some of the concept art, because I feel like a creature like this would have more depth down here, or almost elephant-like, right? Where the tail meets the ground. A lot more going on down there, I think. Thinking like, you know, elephant feets. They have tons of wrinkles on them. And that's because when you have something that has such a huge amount of weight, skin inevitably will form these wrinkles. It's also a form of heat dispersion on elephants and big pachyderms like rhinos. They actually have, because their body mass is so big and they live in relatively hot environments, they need to have another way of dispersing heat. And they do it partially through their ears, but that's the reason why they love being in water. Because they get water inside of those grooves between their skin, and it effectively increases the surface area, right, of their skin. So then when that water evaporates, it really cools down the elephant, or whatever pachyderm it is. I don't want to break up the form too much, but I do want to add, maybe I should do it at the next level of, when I do the high-res HD geometry. You say biology and nature are crazy. I know. I love, you know, I studied biology and botany, especially. I went to school up in Stevens Point, Wisconsin, and they're one of the only places in the nation that has an ethnobotany department. So I actually started a student org called the Society of Ethnobiology, and we studied how different cultures use plants for food and medicine. And there is an international organization called the Society of Ethnobiology as well. We hooked up with them, and they gave us all of their back catalog of like scientific journals, and we went to a couple conferences, one down in Tulane, at Tulane University in Louisiana. So I have a love for plants, and you see that a lot in my portfolio. I really love plants and plant forms, but really all, I'm constantly looking at biology reference when I'm sculpting. Because even though these creatures, they're made up, they're fake, right? Out of somebody's imagination, all of the forms are from real life. Like, you can find these forms in living animals on Earth. Especially a lot of animals that are in the ocean. Take a lot of inspiration from. I'm sure there would be some sort of lateral line here where this bit of material connects to the ground. The ocean is full of nope. Ocean is a scary place. But also a very beautiful place, right? For me, one of the most beautiful animals in the world they're called nudibranch, or nudibranches. They're sea slugs. And just look them up. They have some of the most, this is how you spell them. Spell it, nudibranch. Check those out, Lycana. I'm telling you, they're some of the most gorgeous animals on Earth. And they're sea slugs. I like documentaries on the ocean, but I wouldn't want to hang out. Yeah, all the stuff down there. Totally. So down here, when we're going, when we're close to the axis, like the point of symmetry, this is the x-axis right here. You want to break symmetry. You don't want it to be symmetrical, or else it doesn't look right. Did you see that? Sometimes you get ghosting where like a sculpted line comes across. Because I might have held shift for a second. You always have to step back when that happens in ZBrush. Sometimes it happens in other 3D programs. Where are we at? Subdivision 3. Yeah, I don't like some of this geometry stretched. I don't know why ZBrush sometimes does that, but that's something that it's not a huge deal because we'll be baking out high res, we won't be animating this, but if I were to bring this to an animatable state, that would be something that we have to deal with. You know, the lowest subdivision level would be much lower than this. Probably be down around, you know, for a strategy game, it would be down probably around like 15K, maybe 20K. I'm a sucker for eels. I love their ugly faces. Oh man, I love eels both as an animal, but also unagi is delicious. And my ancestors definitely ate a lot of eel in Finland and northern Germany, Scandinavia. Oh yeah, you like unagi too? Oh, unagi, it's so good. I want to go to Japan just to eat unagi. Hey, Captain Cobbs. Hey man, look at this. We really made, you know, since I actually started sculpting again, we've made some headway. So I've moved from sort of the secondary forms to more of the tertiary forms and getting them right. And our final, we'll be resing it up again into HD, and we'll be doing a lot of alphas. We'll be using alphas to help us make some of that fine resolution texture. Yeah, I've tried to really make it look like there's bone. There's something underneath there. You know, there's flesh hanging down. I'm trying to make it make more sense artistically, right? I added more detail along where the teeth are, so that where they, you know, the point where they would enter into the gums. Unfortunately, like on the concept art, it doesn't really enter into the gums, but it's hard for me to imagine a creature that wouldn't have, you know, at the entrance point between teeth and whatever the face is, have at least some tissue that would be built up around. It's not gums, then almost directly into the skull. Warframe? I'm gonna have to check that out. I don't really know what that is. That's a game. That's a game on Steam, though. I think I've seen it advertised. It's free on Steam? Well, then I have to check it out. Build up just a little bit around where we have the connection points of the limbs. Another thing that can help when you're in the design phase like this, before you've moved up, is just doing a test render. Right, and this is a basic render. We can turn the shadows down. We have to go into our render properties. Turn ambient occlusion on. But you want to make sure that when you're rendering out like this, that shadow's not too harsh. So we'll up the blur on the shadow. You could also increase the fall off on the shadow. You know, in the real world, shadows fall off and they blur slightly too. We'll see if that looks better. Yeah, that looks a lot better. You see the difference between the two? I don't know if you saw me render before, but these are these are softer shadows. So on the edge, you see how it blurs. And also there's a lot more contrast between up against the form to further out. So like contrast between right here and it falls off down to here. Got a light source up here somewhere. So when I move it, then that render goes away. And I can save it out. I missed Rhino Prime. Oh, okay. Now, Rhino is more geared towards CAD, isn't it? CAD and industrial design. I have experience working with CAD, but not creating CAD models. Because I used to work for Granger. Granger had us 3D artists making lots of products. And anything that we could find online was generally CAD. We would modify, of course. You know, work from there. Of course, I had to model a lot of the things because a lot of those products just don't exist as 3D models. So. Oh, you're talking about the game? Gabs, I was telling Sakana that I had bought... Well, ZBrush used to be not cross-platform, so you had to own a license for Mac and a license for Windows. So I bought one thinking, well, this is a good investment. You know, it's a program that I love. It's a developer that I love. I love Pixelogic, and they're, you know, ZBrush, they always innovate in 3D. So I thought, you know, this is a good investment. I'll buy 2 licenses. And then, like, literally, I think it was 6 months later, they came out and said, everyone gets a cross-platform license for free. You know. I think I paid like, it was an extra $300 or $400 to have your license be cross-platform, and then they just changed that all. Reminds me of your game character. Maya and a smidge of ZBrush, that's cool. Maya is, of course, great. I mostly model in Modo. When I do hard surface, or if I'm doing UVs or retopology, I'll bring it into Modo. Because I like the tools better than Maya. And it's also a lot cheaper for me to have a license than have a perpetual Maya license. Extremely expensive. Can't do it. It's not like, oh my god, it's so expensive. I want to make this feel like it's actually a horn. So on most creatures, you know, if it's a bony horn, you're going to have layers of what would be bone, or whatever the equivalent is, would be on this proliferator. And you want to show that underneath, right? The best way to do it by adding these lines going when it gets thin, when skin gets close to the bone. Want to show that form. Any way to help give your character more ability. And this can go a long way. Just these little details. But when you're out here, you sort of, it might catch your eye, right? And we also want to give the impression that the large being. I mentioned to Saikana that, I have a love for biology, and one of my favorite animals are the pachyderms. And if you ever want to do a case study on skin, model an elephant or a rhino. Or a whale. Cetaceans are big on that too. Oh, you sent me a cool image? Okay, I'll check it out. Those are the mammals that have rough skin. Yeah, right. There are big, so like rhinos and elephants. Excuse me. I think I'm at the point where I'm gonna start doing alphas, so I'm liking a lot of these forms. This is something that I could also come back to later. Because sometimes it helps to just put it down, forget about it for a couple days, at least a day. Come back to it and see if you like the forms. Sometimes if I'm doing this for several hours, I might miss something. Get some fresh eyes. This is not great right here. We'll definitely have to Z-remesh this again, but it's okay. I just didn't like how that was working there. Down a bit. Yeah, it's like Hannah says, it really does helps not to feel burned out and to come back with a fresh set of eyes mindset. Yeah, it really, it really does. And it's not just art, right? That has to do with almost any project you're working on. Building something help a lot. Building anything. If you're into other crafts, also a really good practice to do. Because I want to make sure this looks really good by the time I'm done with it. consider it done. Who was it that said, like, I don't know if it was a game maker, maybe the guy who does Mario. A bad game, this can go for anything though. You release a game early, it's bad forever. But if you give it time, you know, it'll eventually be good. Oh, Cobbs, I didn't realize I thought you were back home now. Okay, man. I might be doing alphas by the time you get home then. What time is it? It's 5. It's almost 6 here. I don't know how much more time I want to... I kind of do want to come back to this. But, you know, before we move on to alphas. You know, just really make sure that it's what I want before we add that extra level of detail. Those legs are so detailed. Yeah, I haven't actually worked on the legs yet at all. So I do need to work on these. That is sort of the last piece of the puzzle. Okay, guys. Well, maybe it's a good time to end it here. And thanks for joining in. And I'll probably, if not tomorrow, I'll definitely be streaming this model on the weekend. So if you guys are around, I'd love to have you back. And if you haven't followed, please follow. And it'll notify you when I come online and start streaming. So thanks for hanging out, and okay. Yeah, well, maybe I'll see you tomorrow. If not, have a great night. Thanks for joining in. Really love having people watch, you know, join in the stream. Do a fast render here, and we'll call it quits. See how it's looking. Thanks, guys. Have a good night. And there it is. I'll render something out and put it on Reddit. But till tomorrow, have a good night. Talk to you guys later. Bye.